Good morning, blogging breakthroughs family. How are you guys? There you go. I hope you guys are having a good morning. It's a working weekend for me because I'm making the modules for my blogging blast off course. It's so good. It's like so good. I'm so excited. I'm basically taking the last 3 years of tens of thousands of dollars I've invested working in masterminds, working with business coaches, and mindset and just everything. And I'm sitting down, and it's actually really helpful for me to make because it's like I'm reflecting back on everything I've learned the last 3 years, putting it on one course and putting everything like I think you need to be successful all in one spot. It's so good. I'm so excited about it. I want to talk to you guys about money mindset. I was kind of hesitant, to be honest with you, to make this video because I have a cart open right now. And I was like, I don't want people to feel like I'm coaching them on money mindset because I want them to buy the course. I really don't care if you guys buy the course, like, to be honest with you, right? I know my success is inevitable. I know I get to be financially successful, right? So I'm not trying to pitch you the course, right? I just want to talk about money mindset. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I've seen a few comments lately that are troubling to me. It is troubling to me when I see people struggling with money mindset because I know you won't have success. You will not have success with that kind of mindset. And it feels really urgent to me as someone that grew up in poverty and lived in poverty and climbed out of that. I know what it takes to get out of that. And you can't make it. You can't make it and have a crappy mindset, right? You won't make it. And it's very troubling to me and upsetting to me that there's not that many people in this space talking about money mindset. Because when I see people make comments like that, I'm just like, she's not going to be able to build a successful business thinking like that. And like, it just won't work. It won't work, right? And so I wanted to come on here. I'm going to give you guys some coaching. Hi Maggie. Good morning. How are you guys? Say hi to me if you guys are watching. I always see people like watching on the live, but no one comments. So here's what I've learned about money mindset, right? I had to redo my entire mindset and really like burn down everything I believed about making money, right? I believed making money was hard. I believed I was always going to be broke. I really had an identity that was formed around struggling and being broke. And I really prided myself on someone that was always able to get by. And I was a hard worker and I was scrappy, right? And I always figured it out, but I was always barely getting by. And when I mean barely getting by, I mean like barely getting by, right? And I was able to go to grad school and do all these things, but it was tough, right? It was really tough. It was like, having electricity turned off and not having anywhere to live and like sleeping on couches, like, and going to grad school during all of this, right? It was a very chaotic, struggling time. And it was really built into my identity that I was poor, that I was someone that struggled, that I was just caught in this cycle, right? And I saw it in my family. I learned it my entire life, right? Of making money is very hard, right? My mom would always say, like, I don't understand like how people have money and like how they just have money. Like, it just seems so unfair. And we work so hard and there's never enough, right? And the theme, I feel like, of my life was a lot of scarcity. Like, there's not enough. There was never enough. There was never enough money. There wasn't ways to make money. There's a very limited mindset and a very limited world. And I realized to have the life that I want, I had to burn all of that down. I had to let go of that identity. Like, I had to let go of that identity. And I was tired. Like, aren't you tired of struggling? Like, aren't you tired of it being hard and scary and difficult all the time, right? I had to decide what I get to have, right? I had to decide that I was going to believe that it was possible to have more, right? And it was hard. It was very, very difficult. So this is what I want to say to you guys. And this is like the most important thing I might ever coach you on. So listen the fuck up, okay? Like, hear what I'm saying to you. Like, this advice I'm giving you is worth like millions of dollars, okay? Like, this is maybe the most important thing I think I've ever said on a live stream. I saw someone in a comment saying she wanted to invest in the course, and she's like, I know it'll take me to the next level, but it's going to be really, really painful and really, really difficult for my family. And it's going to be so hard and so painful. And I want to offer to you, that's the circumstance. The circumstance is maybe the circumstance is like the fact, right? So maybe the fact is I only have $1,000 in my bank account. That's the circumstance, right? The reason it's painful is not the circumstance. The reason it is painful is not that you only have $1,000 in your bank account, or you only have $100 in your bank account. That's not the reason it's painful. The reason it's painful is your thoughts. Your thoughts create your feelings. So if you're having feelings about money, it is not the circumstance, right? I used to think that investing was really scary in my business, and once I made money, it would be less scary. But I found out very quickly as I grew my business, I still had the same fear coming up because I was still having the same thoughts, and your thoughts are creating the feelings. It wasn't the circumstance. The circumstance is neutral. Listen to what I'm saying. Your bank account is neutral, because if I have $1,000 in my bank account, some people are going to be like, wow, I have $1,000 in my bank account. Like, that's awesome. That's a lot of money. And then other people are going to be like, oh my God, that's like, how am I going to live? Like, I will never be able to get by. I only have $1,000, and it's like horrible, and it's so painful, right? It's not the money. It's not the bank account. It's how you're thinking about it, right? One person is thinking about it and like, wow, I have $1,000. I have so much money. I've never had this much money. I'm so blessed. It's amazing. I have so many opportunities. And the other person is looking at it and being like, oh my God, like, my mortgage is this much and this is so expensive and blah, 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 and all this stuff. It's your thoughts that are creating your feelings. So if you are feeling pain about investing in your business, it's because you're thinking something about either there's not enough money, or you don't believe in your business, you don't believe you're actually going to be successful, or you're going to lose the money and it'll never come back. And like, my mindset at this point is like, I don't care if I lose the money because I know I can make more, right? It's like, I believe in myself, and I believe in my ability, and I believe in my business. And if I make an investment, I try to make investments that will pay back, that will come back. But maybe sometimes I don't, right? Because I've never built a business, and I'm figuring this out like with you guys, right? I'm figuring it out. I want to scale and make $20,000 a month this year. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I've never done that before. And as I'm doing that, I might make an investment that wasn't the best idea, right? And it might not pay out, but it doesn't matter. There's more money. There's always more money. There's always more money. What kind of truth and what kind of reality do you want to live in about money? It's up to you. And the way you feel about money and the way you feel about your business is up to you. It's not the circumstance. It's not the amount of money you have in your bank account. That's not creating pain. That's not creating feelings. Circumstances don't create feelings. Your thoughts create your feelings. Your thoughts create your feelings. How you think about the bank account, how you think about the money, how you think about your business creates the feeling. If you're feeling afraid, or like it might not work, or that all the money is gone, it doesn't have to do with the money in your bank account. You could have $10,000 in your bank account and feel the exact same way, right? And I know I'm like being dramatic, but this is important, and no one is talking about this in the blogging space, and it is upsetting to me because I know you won't make it. You won't make it. Like, what do you want? Do you want to hold on to these crappy beliefs? Or do you want to have something more for yourself? Do you want to live in a reality that's expansive? Do you want to know what it's like to have a $10,000 a month, a $20,000 a month, a $30,000 a month, right? Like, what do you want? And I know it's hard to let go of those beliefs. I'm still working through that all the time, and it comes up for me. And when this stuff comes up, it's not that you're bad or wrong. It's just an opportunity to shift, right? There's always a different layer. This happened to me recently. This happened to me when the COVID thing started. I subconsciously in my brain, not like thinking about it, I just started hoarding food. Like, I just started buying way more food than I needed. And every time I would order groceries, so that having everything delivered, because my mom is high risk. So I was having everything delivered, and every time I would order stuff, I would just order like way more food than I needed. And I still have so much food. It wasn't like I decided in my brain, like, oh, I should buy more food. It just came up for me, right? I was like, oh, there's another layer of like, from being broke and being poor and having there not be enough and having there not be food, right? That is being triggered. And I get to work on that, and I get to shift that and step into more abundance. right? This is how I think about wealth, you guys. This is like, might be like a stretch for some of you. Just stay with me, okay? This was like game changing for me, okay? I heard my coach say, she's like, I think that being rich is the same as just deciding to go to the beach. It's available to everyone. You can just decide to go there. And I was like what? Right? Like, what if you just decided, like, I just have been playing in this energy lately where I'm like, I just decide that I'm going to be wealthy and it's available to everyone and I get to have it. And it's available to everyone, right? I wouldn't be like, I'm going to go to the beach and be like, I don't know, I've never been to the beach before and my family has never been to the beach and I've always been someone that's never been to the beach and I've never actually seen the ocean, and like, I wouldn't be making up all these stories about going to the beach. You just get to go there, right? It's just available to everyone. The beach is neutral. It's just hanging out there. Wealth is neutral. It's just sitting there. You can decide to be someone that learns how to make money. It's just a skill. Like, making money is just a skill. It's just something you learn. That's it. There's nothing special about anybody making a lot of money. There's not. They've just learned the skill of making money. Does that make sense? And so I'd really want to offer to you, that was really game changing to me, thinking about like, I can just have wealth. It's just available to everyone, just like the beach. It's just there. Like, you can just decide to go to the beach and then you take the steps to go to the beach, right? You just get in your car, you drive there, you put your bathing suit on, like whatever you need to do, right? And you just go to the beach. It's the same. Like, you can just decide to learn to be someone that is wealthy and you can just take the steps to go there, right? And it's certain, it's inevitable, right? When it's inevitable, it's not scary. All this scarcity stuff comes up because you don't really believe that you can get there. But I wouldn't be driving to the beach like, I don't know if I can make it, and like, I don't know, like, what if this happens and what if that happens and I just spent all this money on gas and like, what if it doesn't work? And like, you know, it's just, what if there wasn't any drama? Like, what if you could just decide to go there and you know it's waiting for you and all you have to do is just keep learning the skills and you're gonna get there, right? And there's no drama around it. And it gets to be easy. Like, that's the energy I've been playing in a lot with money lately. It's just like, I just get to have it. It's just there for everyone. And everyone can just decide to go there. And it's not a big deal. It's not like, it doesn't have to be a struggle, right? I used to always have all this struggle around money. Everything is hard. Everything is difficult. Everything is scary. But what if it's not scary and it's not hard? And like, what if there's always more money and it's just easy and I just get to go there? And eventually I'm going to get there, right? And it doesn't have to be this huge saga, right? And the reason the circumstance thing is so important, and realizing your thoughts about money create how you feel about money, not your circumstance about money, right? When you start making more money, you start making bigger investments, right? So like right now, my $300 might be a big investment. I'm about to make a $20,000 investment in my business. I mean, you know, and it's not easy, right? It's like, it brings up the same fear, but I get to work through it and shift it and decide, right? And I haven't decided fully if I'm going to make that investment, but I'm definitely looking and thinking about it. But that's like a whole different story. But, you know, don't confuse yourself and think that having more money in your bank account will make you feel differently. Your circumstances don't create your feelings, right? I talk about this all the time. I'm like, you guys think you're going to get traffic and feel differently about your business. But if you're training your brain to struggle all the time and you're telling yourself, it's hard, it's hard, it's hard, my business is so hard. If I had traffic, it would be easier. This is so hard, this is so hard, this is so hard. You're going to get the traffic. And you've trained your brain to look for ways that it's hard. Your brain is just going to find a new thing to tell you it's hard about. You're like, now you have traffic, but you're like, making money is so hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. Like, working on this business is so hard, right? And then you get money, but then you're like, oh my God, it's so hard. It's so hard. Finding the right people for my team is so hard. And managing the people is so hard. And you feel the exact same. Okay, and it's the same with money. I know this is hard to believe when you don't have money, like I understand, but I promise you it's true. If you're telling yourself investing is scared, investing is painful, it's so difficult, it's hard, it's scary, there's not enough, there's not enough, there's not enough. Even when you start making money, you're gonna be telling yourself the exact same thing. You're gonna feel the exact same. Because your circumstance is not what's creating your feelings. You think your bank account is making you feel a type of way, and it's not. Your thoughts about your bank account are making you feel a type of way. I've invested every last dollar I've had on my business more than one time. Every dollar, everything I got, right? I haven't spoken publicly about this a lot, and don't take this as advice. I would never advise anybody to do this, but I put $17,000 on my credit card at one point to build my business and to do what I wanted to do, right? And I had no fear around that because I knew I was the type of person that would pay it back. And I believed that I was capable of making that money back, right? And I did it, right? I paid it all off. It's all paid off. It's all not like, it is what it is. And I knew even if the business didn't work out, I knew I would go get a job or do whatever I had to do and I could pay it back, right? And I'm in a privileged position, like I don't have kids and like all this stuff. And I just decided to take a risk, right? And, to me, it's like, that makes sense. Like people, they might think that's crazy, but also people finance $30,000 cars all the time and no one bats an eye at that, right? I'm like, why would you think that's okay, but taking out a loan or putting things on a credit card to build a business? And I'm not telling you guys to do that. Like, don't do that. But I'm just telling you, I'm giving you this advice as someone who I've risked everything. I'm not giving you this advice as someone that had it given to me. I'm not someone that had money in a savings account. I'm not someone that had extra money. I put everything on the line for this business, right? But when I invested, I always believed it would pay out. That investment wasn't painful to me. I wasn't like, oh my God, this is so hard. This is so painful. I was like, let's fucking go. I'll make it back. I'm going to make more of it back. I'm going to make like quadruple this, right? I always tell myself, I'm like, every dollar I spend on my business comes back multiplied. So let's fucking go, right? That's how I think about it. And it's not about the money. Someone else might be like, oh my God, I have $17,000 on a credit card and I made a huge mistake and my business isn't even making money. I didn't tell myself any of that. I was just decided. I was like, I'm going to get what I need to make this happen for myself. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to see if it works. Right? But do you see, it's not the circumstance that's creating your feelings, right? It's not about the money in the bank account. It's not about having negative $17,000 invested in your business. Do you see what I mean? It's the mindset. It's your thoughts that create your feelings, not your bank account. I had negative $17,000 in the bank, but I still believed I was going to be successful. Right? Because my thoughts were creating my feelings. And I knew I had to feel empowered to get where I wanted to go, right? If you're telling yourself thoughts that are disempowered, if I had been telling myself, oh my God, I'm such a screw up. I put all this money on a credit card and it's so bad and I'm in debt and like debt is the worst and all this stuff, right? If I had been telling myself that, I couldn't make empowered business decisions. I couldn't get where I wanted to go and think those thoughts. You cannot get where you want to go and think those thoughts. Do you understand? I'm like yelling at you and I'm upset because this is important. You don't get to have success and think those thoughts and no one else is freaking telling you that. So I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what I think. And I think if you keep thinking those thoughts, it doesn't matter how many courses, it doesn't matter if you buy my course or anybody else's course. If you keep telling yourself that investing in your business is hard, that there's not enough money, that you can't be successful, that you can't make more money, you won't do it. You won't be able to do it. And you're going to feel like crap. You're like, not only will you not get the result that you want, right? You're also going to have a lot of suffering. Right? Your suffering that you have is not about your bank account. It's not about the circumstance. The suffering that you have is caused by your thoughts. And I know that is hard to believe when you're broke, but I'm telling you, I've been there, right? And I'm telling you, I've been to the bottom, like I've been as broke as a person can be, and I got out of it. And I'm telling you, as someone that has walked through it, what you need to do to get out of it. Like if you are serious about changing your life and about changing your bank account, I'm telling you what I think. Not because I want to be a jerk, because I want to help you and I know what it takes. Okay? You've got to like burn it down. Those thoughts don't serve you anymore, right? And just look at them and shift them, and it takes work, right? And like I said, even when the COVID thing came up, like that brought up a lot of scarcity in me, and I had to just work and shift it. It doesn't mean that I'm bad or my mindset's screwed up or like any of that. It's just like, oh, like that's really interesting. Like, let me look at that. Like, why do I believe that there's not enough food for me? Like, let me like fix that, right? And I just sat down and journaled on it. and treat yourself with compassion, right? And treat yourself with love. Like, being broke is traumatic. Like, it is. Like, being in poverty is traumatic. Like, it's a hard experience to live through, but it doesn't mean that has to continue to be your experience. There's lots of examples of people that were born in poverty, that have lived in poverty, that got to the other side. But you don't get to the other side and hang on to these negative stories about money. Does that make sense? And do not invest in something that you're not ready to invest in. This is like why I was scared to talk about this while I have the cart open, because I see people do this where they'll like coach people and they'll be like, oh, you have to invest in your business, which I do believe you have to invest in your business. But I don't think like your success is contingent on you buying my course or buying anyone else's course, because I believe all of you get to be successful no matter what, right? So if your success is inevitable, it's just like, what is the next step for you? And I've up-leveled myself for sure by pushing myself to make bigger and bigger and bigger and scarier and scarier investments in my business, right? I've pushed myself, right, to do that. But I always get into a place of alignment before I do it, right? I don't ever buy a course like, oh my God, like, I know this will take me to the next level, but this is really hard and I don't know if I'll get the money back, but I really think it's right. It's like, no, don't buy a course from that place. Like, only buy a course from that place if you're aligned, right? And you're like, okay, like, this is bringing up a lot of fear in me. Let me shift that. And then once you've shifted all that around from an empowered place, ask yourself, what's the next step for my business, right? From an empowered place. I don't want people making business decisions from a place of scarcity, right? This is like what I see people will coach people and be like, you have to invest in your business to make the money back. And like, my cart's open, like, buy my thing. Like, if you want success. And like, I don't believe that, right? Like, I just don't. If you want to work with me, the course is dope. I'm working on it right now. It's so good, right? Awesome. If it's the right aligned step for you. And if it's not, don't buy it. I don't frankly want you in my course if it's not the right step for you, because I want to get people results, right? And I believe I get to be financially successful no matter what. So if you don't buy the course, it's not like hurting me, right? And if it's not the right step for you, like, that's all fine. Like, you get to go work with whoever you're supposed to work with. Does that make sense? That was my rant. I hope this was helpful. I'm telling you, watch this back. This is the most valuable information I could give you. This is why I'm successful now. This is why I'm making the money. It's not the strategy. It's not any of it. It's because I believe like I get to have it, and I believe it's available to me, and I let go of all of this story about like struggle is hard and making money is hard and it's so difficult. Like, what if none of that is true? Like, I just decided none of that's true for me anymore. I decided, this is why I did that challenge where I'm like, this year I'm gonna have a $20,000 month and I'm gonna cut my hours in half. Because it's like, what if I don't have to work hard to make money? Like, what if none of that is true, right? And that's really what I'm like coaching myself through right now, is like letting go of that belief that I have to work hard to make money. It's not true. The richest people in the world do not work hard. Like, they don't. Like, rich people don't work hard. That's all like a story that's taught to us. Let me see what you guys are saying. I'm sorry I yelled at you. I'm sorry for swearing so much. I never mean to offend people. It's just the way I talk. Maggie, when I was little, about 5 or 6 years old, my cousin and I were at a festival and we got the idea we should sell the acorns on the ground to the people at the festival. We had the cute factor and the little old ladies were buying our acorns for a penny a piece. We had about 20 or 30 cents accumulated. My mom caught us and made us give the money back to everyone that was still around and throw the acorns back on the ground. We were chastised for taking advantage of an opportunity and asking for what we wanted. It was then that I learned that making money and being an entrepreneur was bad, even though throughout my life, my mom encouraged me to be an entrepreneur. So our mind fucks about money can go back really far. I've since worked on this belief and gotten past it, but it screwed me up for a long time. Yeah, this stuff is like very real, right? This stuff is like really, really like very, very real. I told this story like maybe in the mastermind, maybe on here, I don't remember. When I hit my first $10,000 month, I'm about to hit my third, we already hit it. I'm doing my third $10,000 month right now. But when I hit my first $10,000 month 3 months ago, I wanted to buy a blender to celebrate. I was like, I had a blender, it worked, but it was like a really cheap, like bottom of the line, like $20 blender I had literally for 5 years. And it was really hard for me. This sounds so insane. It was really hard for me to get rid of that because technically it still worked and buy something better. And it meant letting go of this belief that like spending money on things is bad. And it meant like stepping into a new reality for myself where I can have nice things just because I want them. And I don't have to need it. I don't have to desperately be in need to have something. Like I can just have it for myself. And you know, that's how I grew up. We didn't grow up like you didn't get to have things because you wanted them. You only got things if you like desperately needed them. Right? You know, that's why I didn't have a smartphone. Like I always tell this story about when people are struggling with tech, I'll be like, you know, I didn't have a smartphone until I was like 30 years old. And I used to be a wilderness counselor. And people think that's like cute, but you don't get to have that stuff when you're poor. Like I didn't have a smartphone because we were broke. Like I was broke my whole life. Like that's why. But yeah, all that stuff from your childhood, it sticks with you, but it doesn't mean that you have to live with that. Like you can decide something else, and let me like be an expander to that for you guys. Like I'm deciding, you're watching me do it in real time, right? I'm deciding every month, I'm just deciding I get to have more and I get to do more and that more is available. And yeah, things come up, right? I thought about joining that $20,000 coaching package that I want, and it's bringing up a lot of stuff, right? But it's just an opportunity for me to shift all of that around, right? And it'll always come up. There's no like making it where it's like, now my money mindset is fixed. It's just like comes up in different ways, and then you get to look at it and shift it and step into the version of yourself, right? The way you want to live. My mindset has gotten worse because I spent so much money on my business with no return. I bit the bullet and bought your course, but I know my mindset is key to success. Yeah. And I'm gonna like reiterate this because I'm like, I don't think like my course is the key to success. I don't want anyone to think that. And I'm gonna leave the course open all weekend because there's a few people I know that are on the fence. And I was just like, I don't wanna like be like, you guys have to decide right now. Like I was like, just take the weekend, decide if you want in, like if it's the right next step for you, right? But it does upset me that people are preaching all this stuff about how you have to invest in your business and you have to put money on the table to get you to buy their course. And then they kind of leave you hanging. Like they don't really coach you through the other money mindset stuff, which I just don't believe that you will be able to be wealthy and have wealth and have financial success if you believe all of these screwed up beliefs about money, right? And if you believe that your feelings are created by your circumstance, I don't believe you'll get to have it, right? So it's very troubling to me because I see coaches telling people like, you know, invest in your business, invest in your business. And I believe in that. I still invest almost everything I have back in this business, right? It's just the way that I'm doing it. I love my business. I don't have kids right now. It's what I want to spend my money on. You know what I mean? It's like, this is the time for me to invest in it and create something like really epic for myself. And I'm going to do that. And so I'm not against investing in your business, but I don't like when I see coaches and people telling they have a cart open, so then they go in front of their people and they're like, invest in your business, you have to invest, you have to invest, you have to invest. And they coach people through making an investment in their business, but then there's never any talk about money mindset at all the rest of the time. And it's just like, well, if you think money mindset is so important and you think people believing in their business and investing in their business is so important, why do you only talk about it when your cart's open, right? It makes me very upset. It's like very troubling to me, right? And your mindset is the key to success. And the strategy, to be frank with you guys, doesn't matter, right? If you have the mindset where you're just like, I'm gonna help my people, I'm gonna make this much money a month, and I don't care how hard it is, and I know I'll get there, and I know it's happening. When you have that mindset, you figure it out. You figure out the strategy. There's no secret magical strategy, right? It's all available for free on Google. Like, yeah, invest in courses and like save yourself time. And like, I invest to work with the best people. I've invested like a lot of money in coaching. I still invest a lot of money in coaching, right? I really believe in doing that. But I'm just saying, I don't know. Like, I want you guys to make investments from your business for an empowered place. Needed to hear this today. I just started paying for all the things: lead pages, ConvertKit, Canva, images, G Suite, etc. I know this investment is scary right now, but I'm so excited for it. I'm working my butt off, and I know the money will roll in if I keep pushing forward. Yeah, and sometimes like money helps you putting money down like helps you get results and helps you stay committed, right? I was like, I'm gonna make that money back. Like I put $17,000 on a credit card and I was like, I'm making that money back. Like, I don't care how hard it is. I don't care what we have to do. Like, we're figuring this shit out, right? It's like gonna happen. But I think you can get in that mindset without going into debt. Like, that's not don't confuse what I'm saying, right? You know, I'm not advising anyone do that. Like, I don't think you have to do that at all. I think you can get a second job, you can sell stuff, you can do whatever you need to do to raise money for your business. But the reality is having a business is not free. And you have to be able to figure out a way to raise capital for yourself. And it can be from your second job or from your first job, right? I used to take my salary from my 9 to 5 and I just spent it all on building this business, right? That's how I did it. And yeah, I forgot my train of thought. But yeah, it will happen. It can all happen for you. Oh wow, this just hit me that I've bought courses in scarcity mode. Totally explains why I regretted purchase immediately. I wasn't in the proper mindset. Yes, okay, I always talk about this when I have an open cart. Like, I'm like, if you guys, like, I know that my stuff is good. Like, I do. I believe my stuff, honestly, is like the best in the business right now. I really, really do. I think like I have a unique, special set of skill sets. I think I'm a good teacher. I think I've worked with the best people. I stand behind my work, right? I'm very unapologetic about that. I'm like, my shit is good. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna show up for you, right? And I know that I always show up for my people, right? In a big way. And you know what I mean? And so I stand behind my stuff, but I don't think you have to buy my course to be successful. I think you get to be successful no matter what. And it's like, if you believe you get to be successful no matter what, then do you want to buy the course? What happens is people open their cart and then they start coaching people. All of a sudden they care so much about mindset and teaching you about how to make investments in your business, right? While their cart is open, and they make people feel like if they don't invest in this course, that they won't get to be successful. And I don't believe that at all. I believe you can never pay me a dime, hang out with me on the live stream, work with other coaches, do whatever you need to do. You still get to be successful no matter what. It doesn't matter. Right? It's not about buying my course or not buying my course, right? I still get to be wealthy whether or not you buy my course, right? And you still get to be successful whether or not you buy my course. It's not about that. It's about like, is it the right next step for you? Is it the next aligned step for your business from an empowered place, right? An empowered place, not like, oh my God, I really need to buy this. Like, what if I don't buy it? And like, what if I don't make it? What if you're always going to make it? What if you were never not going to make it? Like, just take that off the table, right? Like, what if you were never not gonna make it? Like, that's not a thing. Like, you're going to the beach, right? Just like I said, having wealth is just like deciding to go to the beach. You'd already decided to go to the beach. No big deal, no drama. We're driving there, we're going. It's inevitable. It's not a big deal. You're just gonna be wealthy. You're just gonna get to be wealthy. You just decided, like, I'm gonna get to be wealthy. I'm going there. It's the same energy you would as if you were like, I'm going to the beach. You know that it's coming. You know that you're gonna get there. So if you're driving to your wealth beach, I don't know how I came up with this. If you're going to your wealth beach, like in your car driving there, is buying my course the next step? Or is buying this other course the next step, right? It's not about like, if I don't buy this, I don't get to go to the beach. Like, that's never gonna happen, right? Because you're never not gonna make it. You're always gonna make it. You're gonna make it no matter what. It doesn't matter if you buy my course or not. Like, you still get to be successful. I still get to be successful. That's why I don't think I have to come on here and be like, buy my course, buy my course, buy my course. Because I'm like, I get to go to the beach no matter what. Like, and I know my stuff is good. So if you want to work with me, great. And if not, great. Like, I know that you get to be successful and I get to be successful. We're all going to the wealth beach. It's all good. You know what I mean? So that's how I think about buying courses. And I just want you guys to make decisions from your business from an empowered place. When you're in scarcity and you're in pain around money, it's really difficult to make decisions from your brain, from the prefrontal cortex of your brain, like the thoughtful place of your brain, right? Because you have all these emotions tied up in money and you're telling yourself that your money is painful. It's causing all these emotions. It's causing all this pain. It's very difficult to make empowered, thoughtful decisions, right? So clear up your thoughts about it. If you're feeling a type of way about your money or you're feeling a type of way about your investments, it's not because of the money. It's because of how you're thinking about it, right? I believe when I invest money that it always comes back to me multiplied, right? So it's a totally different energy than if I invest and I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know if I don't buy this course, I'm gonna fail. And like, this is all the money I have. What if the money never comes back? I never think that. I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna make like 10 times that. Awesome. Like, everything I invest in the business comes back multiplied. So that's like a more empowered belief. I feel the same, Taylor. I've signed up for the exact same list in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, such a scary but fun time. I'm having a blast learning all the new programs. Yeah, it doesn't have to be scary, you guys. Why is it scary? Like, what are you thinking that is scary? Right? What if you just decided that you believe in your success and you believe you're gonna make it? Like, what if you decide that it's gonna happen? What if you decide to know that it's gonna happen, right? Like, think about your thoughts. Like, your thoughts are creating